The 2028 Olympic Games will be held in Los Angeles. While that's good for tourism, LAX is in a dire state of renovations. The $14 billion expansion plan aims to change the face of Los Angeles International Airport. The question is, will they make the massive expansion in just 4 years, while never closing the busiest airport in the world? Let's discuss it in today's episode. The city of Los Angeles is trying to do the impossible. They're trying to spend $14 billion renovating LAX, one of the world's busiest airports with 690,000 airplane movements and 88 million passengers annually. And they're trying to do it in only 4 years. Los Angeles wants to be ready for the 2028 Olympic Games and Paralympic Games, when the whole world will flock to Los Angeles, and LAX is the bottleneck, literally. Today, the airport covers an area of 1,386 hectares and ranks as the busiest airport in the world. The US economy gets about $61 billion annually from LAX alone. Airport authorities tried to launch an expansion plan in 1994 but failed miserably. The reason? LAX is located in a key urban area. Any changes to the airport would disrupt busy city life and tourism. So the expansion plan was denied, but authorities knew something had to change because LAX was becoming infamous for poor passenger experience and congestion. The last millions upon millions of fans from all across the globe flocked to Los Angeles for the 2028 Olympics. Well, chaos, unless the state and federal governments are ready to do something about it. This is where the $14 billion LAX expansion project comes into play. The aircraft aims to upgrade its runways, improve its operating systems, improve connectivity, and modernize its terminals. So when tourists arrive, they won't be greeted by outdated systems that barely work. A clear example of this was the West Gate at Tom Bradley International Terminal. Now, after spending $1.7 billion, West Gates at Tom Bradley International Terminal was finally opened to the public in May 2021. The new T-bit featured 18 gates, and half of them welcomed modern aircraft and an increased number of passengers. Tourists going there can enjoy the Great Hall if they're looking for a luxurious dining experience. They also have a checked bag storage system, biometric boarding gates, design, technology, and all the amenities travelers could possibly need. And speaking of improvements on T-bit, there's a new midfield satellite concourse South Capital Improvement Program. Simply put, this multi-billion-dollar expansion project will increase the terminal area by 150,000 square feet and open 8 additional gates to accommodate narrow-body aircraft. As impressive as this expansion might sound, its construction is even more so. You see, LAX will use a revolutionary construction technique called OCR, or Off-Site Construction Relocation. It's a lot of fancy words, which basically means the expansion project will be divided into 9 segments. Each of these 9 segments will be assembled by workers 1.5 miles away from the airport. When finished, they'll be delivered to T-bit, where they'll fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. This technique will save tons of time for construction workers, while also enabling supervisors to control the process. And speaking of saving time, LAX is also working on upgrading the LAMP. They also plan to spend $5.5 billion on the Landside Access Modernization Program, which is going to cut traffic at the airport. The automated People Mover is a 2.25-mile guideway elevated in the air that connects the central terminal with a rental car facility. There are 6 stations between these 2 destinations. The project will connect the car rental facilities to the consolidated parking. However, it will also connect LAX to the Los Angeles Metro, something tourists are eagerly waiting for. When complete, LAMP will carry 30 million people around the terminal annually, and the long and tedious 1-hour horseshoe labyrinth will be cut down to a speedy 10-minute commute. Today, the LAX APM platform screen doors system can be traced back to the 70s and 80s, and while they've served the airport well for decades, they're in desperate need of a remodel. LAX aims to replace them by installing platform screen door systems from Horton Automatics. The 113 platform screen doors to be installed and synchronized with the APM system will stop people or things from falling on the train track, while also protecting the train's compartments from debris. They also reduce noise pollution in the area. To make navigation from one terminal to another even simpler, LAX plans to spend $43 million simply on renumbering the gates, terminals, and stations. With the new system, it'll be easier to navigate around the rental car spot, the parking lot, and any other terminal or gate you might need. For this, Webcore Construction signed a $23.9 million contract to build a state-of-the-art wayfinding system. They're going to take away the confusion from the current terminal and gate numbering. The initial proposal from Webcore was to assign specific letters to one terminal. For example, Terminal 1 would have only gates A and B, while Terminal 2 would have gates C and D, Terminal 3 would have gates E and F, and so on. The official numbering system has not been published yet, and the project is expected to be finished by 2027. Until then, they will test their system with customers, employees, and airlines to assess the effectiveness of the system. But this is just the beginning of the expansion. Besides the new and improved T-bit, Terminal 1 will also get an additional 11-gate concourse to meet the influx of tourists in the coming years. Meanwhile, work on Terminal 9 has already begun, and it will feature 29 new gates. Costing an astonishing $6 billion plan, Terminal 9 will be the centerpiece of LAX's expansion plan. This one will not be part of the famous LAX horseshoe. Because this 1-mile long airport loop that connects all the terminals might take 1 hour to drive around, LAX decided to move Terminal 9. The 1.4 million square foot facility will be located on Sepulveda Boulevard, and it will feature 12 gates suitable for wide-body aircraft with an additional 17 gates for narrow-body aircraft. Compared to the West Gate's expansion, Terminal 9 will be 40% bigger. The giant terminal, that's supposed to become symbolic of a new era of architecture, according to Terry Mestas, CDO at LAWA, will sit atop 2 levels of parking. For easier access, Terminal 9 will have its own APM system, while also featuring new roads for cars and pedestrians. Just like before, this project is set to be completed just before the 2028 Olympic Games. But this is easier said than done. If this was a small airport, then making these changes would have been easy, but this is LAX. It's the busiest airport in the world. The $14 billion renovations need to be made while the airports operate at full capacity. That's why LAX has employed designers and engineers from 12 different branches. They're working on 180 different design models from 22 cities across the globe. For a seamless connection, the team rely on platforms like Autodesk BIM 360. This way, the design team can work together on the same colossal project from anywhere in the world. They can access the information whenever they want, while also getting automatic clash detection warnings before the error goes into construction. This way, design teams save money and time, giving construction crews clear guidelines for building the structures right on their first try. The question now is, will they make the expansions on time? So, do you think Los Angeles will rebuild and upgrade LAX in time for the 2028 Olympics? Or will this be a spectacular $14 billion failure? Tell us in the comments down below. Now, here's another video mega project enthusiasts enjoyed watching. Bye for now.